Hello guys, my name is Guillaume and welcome to a new episode of Hit the Tone. Hi everyone and welcome to this new episode of Hit the Tone on Thomann's Guitars and Basses. As per usual, if you're not familiar with the format, I'm taking bits of songs, intros, riff, licks and giving you all the tools you need to hit the tone. It is, as ever, a recommendation-based format, so please go down in that comment section and let me know which song you'd like to see here and I'll get to you as soon as possible. While you're down there, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much. And without further ado, let's dive into today's song, which is Little Wing by Jimi Hendrix. This song was requested by Sri Ram, I'm sorry for butchering it. And I knew it would happen eventually and that Jimi Hendrix would pop up in the comment section. Doesn't change the fact that I was very afraid of that. So I'm just going to do my best and try and do at least some sort of justice to that song. Starting with the guitar, and it's coming with no surprise whatsoever, I'm going to use this Fender Stratocaster. How could I not, considering that Jimi is definitely the most famous Stratocaster player ever. So that'll be my guitar for that song, and more precisely in the neck position. There is some myth busting to be done here because a lot of people agree on the fact that Jimi used position 4 a lot, meaning neck and middle position together out of phase. The fact is he had a 3-way selector switch on his guitar, not a 5-way, so there were experimentations, there were toothpick jammings in the selector to lock it in that position 4. The thing is, in most of the live performances, it wouldn't bother with doing that sort of thing in between the songs, so it was usually just bridge or neck position on their own. So that's why today I'll only be using the neck pickup. If you want to use position 4, it's a great sound as well. It's definitely something that's associated with Jimi, so it works too. But next single chord here will take us from that sound to that sound. So as per usual, it doesn't have to be a Stratocaster, although in that particular situation it kind of does because it's Jimi. But if you have a single coil guitar with a neck pickup option, that'll do the trick just fine. If you do feel like it's time to get your Strats, there'll be a link in the description box down below with everything that I used today and some more recommendations at different price points that will help you get there as well. With that out of the way, let's jump onto part 2 of this video, which is our amp and pedal setup. Now, who says Jimi Hendrix probably means a Fender Stratocaster into a 4x4x12 Marshall stack on 12. Something like that. So I'm yet to meet someone who's able to do that at home or in any practice room or any stage nowadays. Like, that's not a thing anymore. But there are several ways of going about trying to get that sort of dynamics, that sort of huge clean sound with a smaller amp. As usual, I'm using my Fender Tweed right here and the controls look something like this. And so one of the differences between a small amp like this and a huge Marshall 100 watt stack is the punchiness of it. Because when you crank a tube amp and something that's really direct like a Marshall, it's really hard to get the same kind of result with a small amp. One trick that I found that did sort of work for it was just to boost your guitar signal going into the front of the amp. For that, I'm going to use the clean boost section of that Rodenberg pedal, the 707, and put the level at about 3 o'clock, tone at noon, not trying to color the sound of the amp, but just trying to make it as punchy as possible. And that'll take us from there to there. So that's already a lot better. Another thing you can do to sort of emulate that 60s, 70s style of recording is to add reverb. Because although there might not have been any reverb in the signal chain when it was recorded, the miking techniques at the time were really, really different. There was not as much close miking as nowadays, which is what I'm doing now, and it's kind of hard to get that sort of big, roomy, airy kind of sound. And a good way to introduce that is to add some reverb, which is what I'm going to do right now with that Strymon Flint on the 70s toggle mode, and pretty much every control at 10:30, 11. And that shall take our sound from there to there. And that's about it really. We're just talking about the most famous tone in the history of guitar. So I hope that was okay. It's just a massive, really punchy, clean sound. And yeah, there we go. And with all that said and done, let's jump onto the last part of our video, which is definitely the most important, and is how to play the song. As per usual, if you guys want to spend some more time learning the song, the tabs will be available in the description box down below. And in fairness, I'd recommend going and checking them out, because there's a lot going on in that intro. There's a lot of different chords, inversions, hammer-on, pull-offs, triads, all the good stuff. And I'm not going to stop and explain it point by point, because that video would be 2 hours long, and we don't want that. I'm just gonna slow it down, show you my fretting hand, show you my picking hand, and then I'd recommend checking out the tabs for more information. Please keep in mind that for this song the guitar is tuned half a step down. So you take your standard E tuned guitar and you drop all the strings half a step down to E flat standard. And so now onto our picking hand. The picking side of it is not overly complicated. The fretting side, on the other hand, is just a different story. There's no way of making it simpler. There's a lot of techniques involved. What I'd recommend is try and work these techniques individually. Try and get used to having your thumb on the bass string right here. Try working on your hammer-on pull-offs and inversions, and take the different parts separately before trying to put them all together. And with that in mind, I think that's it. You guys have all the tools you need to hit the tone that is Jimi Hendrix's Little Wing. Now I know I say that a lot, but it is a recommendation-based format, so please go down that comment section, let me know which song you want to see next, and I'll get to you as soon as possible. While you're down there, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you all very much. I wish you a fantastic day, fantastic week, and I will see you next Monday in a new episode of Hit the Tone.